Division race looked to be a Rangers runaway, but the battle's back on. And while there's more than a month remaining in the regular season and the Rangers maintain a 2-game lead, this weekend series is very important to both contenders. Derek Holland leads the Rangers charge as they welcome the Los Angeles Angels to the ballpark next on TXA 21. The last visit of the year by the LA Angels to the ballpark, and a big crowd on hand for the first of this 3-game series as the Rangers homestand continues. And we welcome you, Dave Barnett, along with Tom Grieve. Last visit by the Angels. The Rangers will wrap up the regular season in Anaheim, and it's very possible, Tom, that those two series may determine who comes out of this AL West this year.
Sure looks that way. And one thing you know, when the Angels play the Rangers, probably going to be close games. It's always going to be a close series, very evenly matched, and it's been that way this season. The Rangers lead it head-to-head 7-6, and when you look at the overall numbers, they seem to really favor the Rangers. Batting average favors the Rangers. The Rangers have scored over a half a run more per game. They hit better with men in scoring position. They've made a few more errors. I think the reason the Angels are so close, they've won 4 one-run games, low-scoring games. They've been able to win those close games. But it's an evenly matched series. You have to think the last month is going to be evenly matched. And those last 3 games in Anaheim probably will determine the whole thing.
And a very important start tonight for Derek Holland, as the Rangers' starting rotation has been battered since the Monday night shutout of Boston. He will oppose Dan Herron. Lineups, first pitch, big series. First place on the line this weekend, beginning next. AT Rethink Possible. By TXU Energy. To find a plan that's right for you, call TXU Energy, the right things right now. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. When these two last saw one another, the Rangers were 3 outs away from an 8-game lead and a 4-game sweep in Anaheim. And Mike Scioscia's team crawled out of the grave that night with the walk-off 2-run home run by Mike Trumbo off Mike Adams. And since then, the Angels have not lost. They have won their next 5 since that night with 2 other walk-off wins. And so they come in tonight only 2 games behind the Rangers. But Tom, after having played as poorly as the Rangers did the last 3 nights, maybe the best thing is there's absolutely no time to dwell on any of that because there is so much at stake beginning the very first pitch tonight.
Well, it's pretty tough to go through 162 games without having a bad stretch here and there. And the Rangers just had a bad stretch. Fortunately, they had a 7-game lead when it started. But when you're a good team and you have good players, you don't play that kind of baseball for very long. And hopefully tonight will be the night the hitters break out of it. It'll be the night that Derek Holland goes out and has another strong start. And the Rangers will start playing the last month of the season the way they're capable of playing.
Part of what has gone right for the Angels also, Tom, is the schedule. They had very favorable homestand. They had Baltimore in, they had Chicago in, and they took care of business, and their bats have come alive in the process.
Well, they won a game against the Orioles in extra innings when the Orioles scored 2 runs in the top of the 12th inning, and they came back and scored 3. So they had some close calls, but they played well enough. But I don't think you expected this season to be a season where one team won by 7 or 8 games. Sure, they built up that lead, but the Angels are a good team with those 3 starting pitchers. They can be very competitive, and they are, and they will be. Going to go right down to the wire.
A 2-game margin as the Rangers take the field. And Derek Holland, when he last took the field against the Angels, that was 2 starts ago, came away a 7-3 winner, 1 out from a complete game that night, allowing only 1 run in the first 8 innings. Time before that against the Angels was July 20th, and the Rangers that night were gunning for their 13th consecutive win. Holland had an 8-3 lead, couldn't hang on, and the Angels won that one 9-8. Here's the Angels starting lineup, and it'll begin with red-hot Peter Borges, who was injured when the Rangers last took on the Angels. Not anymore. Bobby Abreu batting second as the DH. Howie Kendrick has discovered his power stroke. He's batting third. Torrey Hunter, one of the hottest hitters in the American League this month, is batting cleanup, with perhaps the only true candidate this year for Rookie of the Year in the American League, Mark Trumbo, batting fifth. Vernon Wells still struggling in left field and batting sixth with Alberto Callaspo, Eric Ibar, and Bobby Wilson. The bottom third of the order against Holland.
Yeah, Derek is 11-5 on the season. In his last 9 starts, he's 5-1 with a 3.26 ERA. He's 8-2 at home, although he has a relatively high ERA. His last start was in Chicago. Tough start, 3 1/3, 8 hits and 5 runs. But in his last 9 starts, he's had 3 shutouts. Overall this season, it's been a great learning experience for him. He's pitched well in a pennant race, and now it's just a matter of finishing it off over the last month.
The Angels got here yesterday. They have had 2 days off this week, Monday and yesterday. In between, they took 2 from the White Sox, and they are set to go here as Borges steps in. Over his last 10 games, a .419 hitter with 7 extra base hits, and his average up 17 points to .282. Benefiting from a shorter swing, a shorter stride, working with Mickey Hatcher, their hitting coach, and getting excellent results as Holland does with his first pitch of the night. 102 degrees tonight for our first pitch. Ron Kulpa is the umpire behind the plate, with Darrell Cousins at first, Jim Wolf at second, and Mark Wegner is umpiring at third. Cousins is the crew chief.
A good start for Derek. Throwing the ball hard, throwing strikes.
The average game time temperature this month, 103.4. So a little on the cool side tonight. A little bit of a gap there between the number 1 and number 2 Turner Field, about 89 degrees. I think I might take our 102 over Atlanta's 89, though. Two balls and 2 strikes to Borges. Angel Stadium, they average about 73 or so. So we'll see how they deal with it. Maybe as well as Boston did. Angel bats picking up as Borges has been such a good igniter at the top of the order and fouls that one off of Mike Napoli. Will take a moment now. Right up there under his left collarbone, looks like. Maybe right on top of it. Borges, their 10th round draft pick, 2005, out of high school in Scottsdale. And a ground ball up the middle for a leadoff base hit. So Borges battles back from down 0-2. As we look at the Ranger defense, they have been errorless in the season-high 6 straight games with Hamilton, Chavez, and Cruz the outfield. Young, Andrews, Kinsler, Moreland the infield. And Napoli still shaking off that foul tip. So from the 24-year-old Borges to the 37-year-old Bobby Abreu. Second year of a free agent contract, signed November of 09. And a career that has seen him achieve a lot of impressive milestones like that one of 4 active players, 1,400 runs, 1,300 runs batted in, and get close to a number of other impressive achievements. 18 home runs, and Abreu will have 300. 11 more stolen bases, and he'll have 400. There are 2 players in Major League history who have both 300 homers and 400 stolen bases. They're both named Bonds. Slow roller here, and Moreland will have to hurry and does not get the out at first base, although he's going to argue with Darryl Cousins that he got the tag in time.
I have no idea why he was safe at first base. I mean, where Darryl Cousins was, he couldn't see the tag, but it looked pretty obvious from up here that he tagged him. And that kind of a play, if you're Mitch Moreland, you have to realize that it's Borges running, and you're going to have a very tough time getting the force out at second. Mitch recovered, and it looked like barely in time to make the tag at first base, but didn't get the call.
This should be the angle right here.
Looked like he got him in time.
Sure did. Even better angle right there, and that's pretty incontrovertible right there. But it goes as an infield hit, and immediate trouble for Holland and the Rangers with Howie Kendrick, who has homered in 2 of his last 3 games. But looking to bunt here and takes a strike.
Yeah, the Rangers have had problems the last few days getting out of the first inning.
Last night at Adrian Gonzalez home run. Night before, a 4-run first inning off Matt Harrison. 2-run first night before that against Colby Lewis, but it's 0-2. Everything has picked up for the Angel Bats, beginning with that Trumbo home run a week ago Thursday. And the bat goes flying with apparently nobody hurt, about 7-8 rows behind the third base visitor's dugout. Nicely done.
Looked like it landed right in his lap, and fortunately it hit flat and not with one of the ends. Second time we've seen that in this homestand. The Rangers and Derek could certainly use a hard ground ball to shortstop and get 2 quick outs.
Derek throwing strikes, 10 of his first 13 pitches. Howie Kendrick's home runs have come in bunches. He's one of the top hitters in the league against left-handed pitching. He had 6 homers in the month of April. And now 2 of his last 3 games, a career-high 11, one more than each of the last 2 years. Called strike 3.
He got his piece in. The umpire, Ron Culpa, let him get his 2 cents worth in, and Kendrick did the wise thing, turned around and went back to the dugout before he angered Ron Culpa to the point where he would consider ejecting him. And it looks like Kendrick might have been called out on a borderline pitch that went Derek Holland's way. Well, maybe that evens off. Well, in a way, evens off the call at first base. It looked to us anyway like Abreu was out at first, but it was a close play. It's easier with slow motion replay than it is for Darryl Cousins to call as it happens.
So with 1 out, here is Torrey Hunter, one of the hottest hitters in the league the month of August, 3rd in fact, with an average of .392, but only Adrian Gonzalez of all people was grounded into more double plays. Hunter, of course, getting to sleep in his own bed up in the Prosper. With some divided interest for this series, especially tonight. Has some sons playing football for Prosper High School, getting their season underway tonight. He said he will still manage to concentrate on the job at hand and the 2-1 count. He was not having a great season until he ignited this month. He's brought his average up 27 points from .232. Still just fair at .259, but the Angels love the trend. And it's 2-2.
We obviously have great speed at second base with Peter Borges. Borges scored the other day against the White Sox from first base on a base hit to left field. He challenged Juan Pierre, who bobbled the ball trying to make a play at third, and he just kept right on going and scored. That's the kind of speed that he has.
Hunter to be followed by Trumbo. I got a speed scouting report on Borges and Mike Trout from Mark Trumbo we'll talk about tonight, Tom. You will find of interest. We talked about them being maybe the fastest players in baseball. Strikeout, throw him out, double play.
He's not fast enough to outrun that throw from Mike Napoli. Derek threw an off-speed pitch on the 3-2 pitch. Had Torrey Hunter way out in front of it. Mike Napoli executes the throw, and the Rangers are out of the inning.
first inning with the strike him out, throw him out double play. And now the Rangers will go to work with Kinsler, followed by Andrews, Josh Hamilton, Michael Young, Napoli batting fifth, Mitch Moreland after an off day back in the lineup, and Nelson Cruz dropped to 7 as Ron Washington hopes that he will loosen up, stop pressing quite so much at the plate. David Murphy getting to start a DH. Andy Chavez batting ninth. And he's in center field against Dan Herron, going for his 14th victory of the year.
He's a terrific pitcher. He's a workhorse. He's 13-6. His ERA is under 3. 190 innings. A 6-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That leads the American League. He had a bad start against the Rangers that ended up being a no decision. I was back on July 20th in Anaheim. Gave up 9 hits and 7 runs in that ball game. Now, this guy has been one of the solid, really good pitchers in baseball the last 6 years, now 7 years. He's a shoe-in to throw more than 215 innings. He's going to do it again this year for 7 straight years. Throws a lot of strikes. A little bit of a deceptive delivery. Has a little hesitation right there in his delivery. And he's got a good combination of off-speed pitches to go with his fastball. The other thing that you notice about him, he hasn't missed a start in 7 years. And in today's game where the pitchers are making a lot of money, the good ones anyway, ones that never miss a start and go out there for 200+ innings are really valuable.
Kindler's pop-up handled by Kendrick. Well, speaking of the strikeout-walk ratio for Dan Herron, our Ford leaderboard tonight shows that he is in historic company with the season that he's putting together. Strikeout-walk ratio of 6 and an ERA under 3. Here's how often that's happened in history. Cy Young did it twice. Walter Johnson once, 1913, and not since by anyone other than Pedro Martinez, 99 and 2000. And Dan Herron can join that extremely elite group.
If you ever want to know how great Pedro Martinez is, all you had to do is look at that. And you see the other pitchers that have done that. There haven't been many. And the difference between what Pedro Martinez did and what the rest of them have done. Pedro's strikeout to walk ratio was almost 9-1 in those 2 years. And in a hitter's era, he had an ERA one of those years of well under 2. I think a lot of sabermetricians would rank that particular season as one of the all-time best single-season pitching performances ever.
Yeah, because they pay a lot of attention to the gap between the best ERA and the average ERA, and it was monstrous that year.
Yeah, the gap was huge, and the overall ERA itself, just taken by itself, whatever it was, 184, 189. In this era, hitter's era, really stood out.
3-2 to Andrews. And Elvis could use a hit. He is 0 for his last 13, 1 for 23 over his last 7 games. Backhand pick by Callaspo. The throw not in time, and there is a base hit for Elvis.
Well, it's not a coincidence that when the Rangers are scoring runs and the offense is clicking, that Kinsler and Andrus are getting on base, running the bases, and the guys in the middle, Josh Hamilton, Michael Young, Nelly Cruz, whoever's in the middle of the lineup, are having a lot of RBI opportunities. And that just hasn't happened the last week. There have not been men on base a lot with the top of the order, and the key guys in the middle of the order aren't swinging the bats either. And so for the Rangers to really get going, there's several guys in the lineup that have to up their performance. It's as simple as that.
And here's one of them who was talking about that very topic before the game, Josh Hamilton. 4 for his last 23, 174 average for his last week. And he was doing some self-analysis before the game. As Andrus goes, Wilson's throw not in time. Stolen base number 33 for Elvis Andrus.
Good jump for Elvis. Relatively easy stolen base, even though Bobby Wilson made a pretty good throw. A pretty good jump here, and not overly slow to the plate. That's just good technique and good speed by Elvis, stealing that base. A pretty good throw from Wilson, though. But that would have been close if he threw that ball right on top of the bag. A little bit of daylight between Ibar and Elvis.
Well, Josh, before the game, is talking about how he has improved just in terms of contact hitting this year. His strikeouts are down, but he's not happy at all about the fact that his home runs are down as well. Says he just has not found a happy medium between the way he put it, being mad at the ball, really attacking it, and making the contact. And his average is still almost at 300.
I think that's pretty good self-analysis when you watch him. That's what it looks like. It looks like he's concentrating more on making contact than driving the ball. And the Rangers love the fact that the team makes good contact and doesn't strike out. But they want the guys in the middle lineup, especially Josh, not to be concentrating on just making contact, but driving the ball. And they're certainly capable of doing that.
"17 home runs, even with the time he was on the DL. Not what Josh was hoping for at this point of the season. 400 hits, 90 stolen bases before the age of 23. Elvis Andrus and that company: Ty Cobb, Cesar Cedeno, former Ranger Claudel Washington, Ricky Henderson, Roberto Alomar. Wow. And when Josh's comments were run past Ron Washington, he said basically the same thing. Yeah, you know, he's happy that he's still hitting 300, but he's still looking for Josh to lock in and carry the team for a month. Josh said the same thing. This time last year, I was on fire. I'm just not there. And he looks at strike three. So with Elvis in scoring position, 2 outs, and Young will be next.
It looked like that ball came back. That ball, I think that ball, the movement on that ball fooled Josh a little bit. It looks inside, but then it had that tailing action that came back and caught the inside part of the plate. A really good pitch by Heron. And the pitchers that can throw that pitch and locate it will have a lot of success, because the left-handed hitter just assumes that pitch is going to stay inside, and then toward the end it comes back, moves toward the plate, and catches the inside corner. When you run into problems with that pitch is when you start it out and it's a strike to begin with, and then it tails back over the middle of the plate.
Michael last night, one of only 3 Ranger hits, also a stolen base. And that Boston team that was just here, they are home playing Oakland. Tim Wakefield's trying to get his 200th career win, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. In the top of the 4th, A's 8, Red Sox 1. Gio Gonzalez against Wakefield.
Well, you know, if you catch Wakefield on a night where his knuckleball isn't dancing, it'll be a long night for him. And plus, the A's have Gio Gonzalez on the mound, and he's one of the best.
Young's pop up handled by Trumbo. That'll do it for the Ranger first. So the Elvis single and the stolen base. Both teams threaten, neither scores.
I had a chance to look at the thermometer out here. We're at 102, and as you might imagine, people are doing whatever they can to stay cool. You'll see a lot of movement back in the stand watching at home. They handed out free fans out here, so people are either fanning themselves or trying to shade themselves from the sun. So whatever they can do to stay cool. Hey, we're over here in the community corner to talk about a special event. It's called Stephanie's Day. It's a free event for special needs children and their families. Now, it's tomorrow, August 27th, and it's over at North Park Center in Dallas. There's lots for the kids to do. There's free face painting, music, balloon animals, puppets, and clowns. And while the kids are having a good time, Mom and Dad can get valuable information about services for their special needs kids. You can find out more online at Stephanie's Day, one word, stephaniesday.com. And I'm going to get this fan back to the nice lady who loaned it to me before she passes out, Dave.
All right, Joel, here is Mark Trumbo.
Thank you.
Could not check his swing on the first pitch. Trumbo comes in with outstanding numbers. Rookie total of 23 home runs, 69 runs batted in, leads the Angels in both categories. No single players ever led in both as an Angel rookie. Leads all American League rookies 4 other categories: hits, doubles, runs, total bases.
Well, if you look at the other offensive players, Trumbo is probably a clear Rookie of the Year candidate. But there are 2 great competitors for that award, 2 pitchers, Jeremy Hellickson and Michael Pineda. Hellickson's won 11 games, Pineda's won 9. Pineda made the All-Star game. They have on-base opponents' batting averages below 220. So both of those guys are solid candidates. Good ERAs, under 4. And Trumbo's got some power numbers, but he's got a couple of blemishes on his record. 296 opponent's batting average. He's hitting 258. He's hit some home runs. But it'll be interesting to see how the voters look at an offensive player with some home runs and 2 really good young rookie pitchers.
Now, this is usually a discussion that comes up when you're talking about MVPs. Do you think team success will have anything to do?
No, it has nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do with Rookie of the Year. In my mind, anyway. It's the Rookie of the Year. It's the best player. And I don't think a Rookie of the Year gets punished for what team he's on.
Well, in this case, it would be Trumbo getting credit for leading the Angel offense, which was pretty mediocre at best.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're talking to a guy with an on-base percentage below 300 and 2 young pitchers, one with an ERA of 3.01 and a 2.16 opponent's batting average. Whether he plays on a winning team or not. And Tampa Bay's got pretty much the same record that the Angels do.
3-2 pitch from Holland. Right back off his glove. Recovers. Doesn't hurry the throw. Gets it.
And I don't know how much glove that got. It looks like he's smiling, so it looks like he's okay. But there's some concern on the part of the pitching coach and the trainer and the manager. See where it hit. Looked like it hit him right in the rear end.
And it looked like it first deflected off the glove. So if we got any piece of him, it looked like it wasn't a direct shot. Maybe not, anyway.
Well, in any regard, the trainer didn't check anything. He smiled. So whatever it hit, he's obviously okay, and that's a good thing because that was a line shot by Trumbo.
And here is Vernon Wells, who has seen a little uptick of late. He's got a 4-game hitting streak, 6 for his last 13. Still down to 209. And since July 24th, a little over a month, hitting 168.
That guy just, never seen that before. That guy just threw his hat to try to catch the ball. No idea what he thought was going to happen.
Pop up. Chased by Napoli and just over the screen. 1 and 2. Here's what Tom was.
See if this guy has any chance to get this ball.
Now does he have any chance of getting his hat back?
Yeah, they toss it. This guy tosses the hat back. That was a good thought, but the only thing better would have been if it actually did hit the ball.
Then the ball and the hat would have sailed on the route where the ball ended up.
Gets a ball and a hat for a souvenir.
Vernon Wells hoping finally to make the postseason, as his good friend finally did last year, Michael Young. Like Torrey Hunter, he gets to sleep in his own bed. He's in South Lake. Drove over to the puck. Got in about 3. And Holland thought he had him caught looking. 3-2. Fairly close to the call strike 3 to Howie Kendrick. But this is 3 straight full counts. And up the middle, base hit. Just about where Borges' leadoff hit went in the first. And for Vernon Wells now, 5-game hitting streak. The way his season has gone, the way he has been groping for what he's accustomed to, the Angels are accustomed to from him offensively, he'll take it. So 1 out, 1 on, and here's Alberto Callaspo, the third baseman, who also comes in with a 4-game hitting streak. Callaspo over before the deadline last year from the Royals. And from hometown of Elvis Andrus, Maracay, Venezuela. Callaspo originally signed with the Angels at age 17. Moved on to Arizona 2006. But parts of a couple of years with the Diamondbacks. On to Kansas City. And now finishing up his first full year back with his original ball club, with whom he signed at age 17 in 2001. And the Angels forcing Holland to throw some pitches here. 36 spent to get 4 outs.
Yeah, and one of those pitches was a strikeout throw him out. So he got 2 outs with one of those pitches. All the hitters have seen a lot of pitches.
Two and two to Callaspo with Eric Ibar on deck. Became official about 3 hours before game time that the Angels will move up both Irvin Santana and Jared Weaver to pitch tomorrow and Sunday nights. As that grounder goes to Young and becomes another double play, 5-4-3. So each of the first 2 innings have ended that way. second inning. Napoli, Moreland, and Cruz for the Rangers. And as we said, it is official. Tomorrow night it'll be C.J. Wilson against Irvin Santana. And on Sunday night, Colby Lewis will face Jared Weaver. Neither Santana nor Weaver have ever pitched on short rest, but they will do it for the first time here this weekend, each on 3 days rest. See how that works out for Mike Scioscia. Something that has very rarely happened in baseball in recent years as Napoli takes outside. In fact, only 7 times in the last 10 years has anybody pitched against the Rangers on 3 days rest. Jared Weaver in his last outing pulled after 7 innings and a shutout at 96 pitches. Santana, his last time out, though, went 115 pitches. So the Angels clearly going for it right here. Trying to leave here with the division lead. Low to Napoli, 3 balls and a strike. Mac, the hat trick last night, 0 for 3, struck out all 3 times. Other than that, not a bad series against the Red Sox. 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. And this pop up, checked by Wilson. Well back, and it's 3-2. In fact, the Rangers have put a chart together on starters who have worked on 3 days rest the last 10 years against the Rangers. Last year, only Mark Zepchinski of Toronto did it. Lasted 5 innings and lost 8-1. Up the middle, base hit, Napoli.
Yeah, based on some of the balls that Mike has hit hard the last couple of weeks, that's probably not a real good location to throw him. Like a high fastball right out over the plate. And Aaron very seldom walks anybody, but that one's right in the hitting zone that Mike Napoli likes. That was a smoke line drive back through the middle.
Pitches in that zone to Napoli lately have been landing in the seats. Aaron perhaps fortunate to only have him at first base. And here's Mitch Moreland. Mitch given yesterday off against the left-hander Andrew Miller, and he goes for the first pitch. Long run for Vernon Wells. Can't get there. Napoli headed to third and will be held there, and it's a double for Moreland, and the Rangers are in business in the second.
Well, when the ball goes up, you think it's got a chance, and then you see it's Vernon Wells out there, and you say, oh, he's probably going to get it. But fortunately, that ball kept slicing away from Wells, and he never could get to it. And it turns out to be a well-placed fly ball. Gets the Rangers off to a good start here in the second inning. Napoli can't go all out on this ball, because if you turn around to go past second base and Wells catches it, you'll get doubled off. And with nobody out, you don't want to take that chance. There we go.
First pitch to Nelson Cruz is going to bring home 2, and he's headed for 2.
Well, Napoli got a high fastball out over the plate that he hit hard to center field. And it looked like Nelly Cruz went up there first ball hitting, and he got a pitch out over the plate, and he hit it just as hard. Enough in the gap where he was able to turn almost the exact same pitch, really, as the one that Napoli hit. And his is a little bit to our left of Borges, which allowed Nelly to sneak into second base ahead of Borges' strong throw.
Strike one on the edge to David Murphy.
And if you're looking for ways the Rangers can get it going with the last month and a week to go, that's one way. Get Nelly Cruz hot.
And it has been a little bit of a wait to get Nelson Cruz hot. 4 for 27 over his last 7 games, and for that 2-run double. Murphy's hit Herron very well. And 1-2. David trying to get in here. A good final month, 1 for his last 12. Murphy and then Chavez. As the Rangers remember how it feels to get an early lead.
A lot of pitchers throw David away. He's quite a ways from the plate. And when you've got a guy like Herron who can make the ball tail away and usually pinpoint the location, that's probably what he's going to aim for.
Got him on a foul tip. Second strikeout. First out of the second inning.
That's how he's going to be pitched. So, you know, if you're David Murphy, you pretty much know what the plan is. And so the solution has to be either move a little closer to the plate or step into the ball and anticipate that it's going to be out there.
First pitch to Chavez, a strike with the breaking ball in the inside corner.
The other thing in that at bat that Herron didn't want him to do is he didn't want him to pull the ball. With the man on second and nobody out, I mean, the batter's goal is to pull the ball to move the man to third base.
If that stays fair, it's trouble, but it doesn't.
Generally, those balls stay fair. That one just had so much spin on it, it couldn't stay fair. Usually you see a slow roller like that going down the third baseline in this park, and it stays fair. That one just hit right off the end of the bat and has so much spin on it that you can see the spin on it. It just spins into foul territory.
It's like a big, slow breaking putt there. Think about a 2-foot left turn, 0-2. Two runs on 4 hits. Not quite through 2 innings for the Rangers, a team that has had 8 hits or fewer in their last 8 games, the longest such stretch since April a year ago. They've not coincidentally lost 6 of those 8. Tonight, a very different feel against an outstanding pitcher. Dan Herron from just east of Los Angeles was not even scouted in high school. Went to Pepperdine to hit. And he said he got thrown into pitching because that's what they needed. Stuck with it. Worked out well for the Waves. Has worked out very well for Dan Herron. And he spears that comebacker and gets out number 2 at first. So Cruz still at second, 2 outs, and back up to the top in Ian Kinsler. In fact, Herron in his last year at Pepperdine was a second-team All-American as a utility player. He hit .308. By then he was pitching well. He went 11-3 with a .222 earned run average and the West Coast Conference Player of the Year in 2001. Second round pick that year by the Cardinals. And Kinsler, who popped to second to begin the game. He has done some damage to the Angels in those 80 games. And has been driving in runs, 17 in his last 19 games. Chance to do so here, make it a 3-run Ranger inning. And getting out in front, he's thrown 5 straight first pitch strikes. Right to Trumbo. That'll do it, but the Rangers take the lead. Napoli led it with a single. Moreland doubled, and Cruz brought them both home with his double. Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Toyota, moving forward. And by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Luke Barnett, Tom Grieve on a 102-degree Friday evening. And a 2-0 lead for Derek Holland as he takes the mound for the third to face Eric Ibar, Bobby Wilson, and Peter Borges.
Well, both pitchers are right around 40 pitches. Derek's had a couple of double plays, including Callaspo's to end the second inning to keep his pitch total after 2 innings under 40. He's throwing enough strikes. Angels have fouled off a lot of pitches, worked the count pretty well on him.
Chopper up the middle. Kinsler, high throw, pulls Moreland off the bag. And the speedy Ibar is aboard to lead off the third.
Yeah, generally that's an easy throw for Ian. Boy, sure looks like his foot's on the bag. Let's take another look at that. Boy, I don't know. Maybe he came up and back down on the bag. If he did, he didn't stay up in the air very long.
That's 2 calls over there by Daryl Cousins that have both gone against Moreland and the Rangers.
Yeah, it looked like he might have gotten an inch up in the air as he reached for that ball. Yeah, that's what he's saying. He came up and then back down on the bag, just barely.
That one I think he got right. I think he missed on the tag back in the first on Abreu. So Ibar to deal with over there. 26 stolen bases, 7th in the league. And here's Bobby Wilson. Former 48th round draft pick out of St. Petersburg Community College in Florida. And it's 0-2. That answers our question. Fan posed the other night. Is Paul Nauert the only umpire with glasses? No. Daryl Cousins.
Yeah, there could easily be several more. That's something, to be honest with you, I would have no inclination to notice during a game.
Never occurred to me either, but it's good to have friends who think about things like that for me. Wilson's offense picking up a little bit. Might be 2. And the Rangers missed this chance on another throw that This time Moreland had no chance on from Kinsler.
Well, Ibar got down there quickly and must have disrupted Ian. It's very unlike Ian to have two throws not accurate to first base, as tough as they were. Ibar's play was a do-or-die play. Generally, Ian has no problem with that throw. Ibar gets down there quickly, slides hard into Ian, and I think that caused that throw to go offline a little bit. That's generally a ball that you don't even consider anything but a double play. Give Ibar some credit.
Yeah, and that would have been the Rangers' third in as many innings. Instead, Borges led off the game with a single.
As he goes to throw, I think he feels the pressure from Ibar and maybe leans back on his heels just enough to keep from going through the bag and having a strong throw. Generally, on that ball, you won't see the runner get down there that quickly and even come close to be a disruptive force. So when Ibar gets down there and does that, you have to give him a lot of credit. A lot of times those go unnoticed. They're certainly unnoticed in the box score.
Borges has had an outstanding season series against the Rangers. Minus the time he was on the disabled list. The Rangers got to look at Mike Trout, who is back with the team, so they are both active now, Borges and Trout. Good backdoor curve. 2-2. Number 2. Strikeout number 3 for Derek Holland.
Good off-speed pitches. Dropped one in for a strike and then got him to swing and miss at this one. Slider down and in. Good pitch. It would have been a ball, but it's also with 2 strikes, tough pitch to lay off of, and Borges wasn't able to.
So with 2 outs, here is Bobby Abreu. Credited with an infield hit on a play at first in which it appeared Mitch Moreland might well have gotten a tag on him before he got to the bag. And the curve for strike 1 from Holland to Abreu. Joel Thomas told us about the fans with the fans tonight. And there is absolutely no wind. I can't remember the last time that was the case here. They're having to supply their own breeze. This week we've seen, I think it was Tuesday night when it dropped from 104 to 84 in like 10 minutes. That northern blew in out of nowhere. But winds have been steady. Tonight, non-existent. And 1-2 now to Abreu.
I'd try another one right there.
Oh, that one went right off of Ron Culpa. Boy, Napoli's had a foul tip near his left collarbone, and Culpa's going to have to take a moment or two to walk this one off. Picture pretty much says everything.
Well, that's why catcher appreciates the fact that the umpire needs a little bit of a break for a minute, so he goes out to talk to the pitcher, and no one goes out to try to hurry up that discussion like they normally do. And that's kind of the subtle way to give the umpire a little 30-second to 45-second break, catch his breath, and the umpires will go out and brush off home plate, take a little time of their own when it happens to the catcher.
Did he go around? He sure did. Mark Wegner rings him up. And Holland ends the third with back-to-back strikeouts. Chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and soft drinks served in the air-conditioned upper home run porch grill. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. This was between innings. Elvis and Wash.
Not sure what that discussion was. And sometimes you get yourself in trouble when you make a guess. But I'm going to make a guess anyway. I'm guessing that Wash is asking Elvis if he got the ball to Ian as quickly as he could. Now, there's nothing wrong with the play, but when you've got a fast runner like that, Wash may have been saying, did you get the ball to Ian as quickly as you could? And again, it could be something totally unrelated. Might have something to do with this at bat.
Eric Ibar got it to Mark Trumbo as quickly as he could. Elvis is out after an infield single and a steal in the first. So with one out, here is Hamilton. He looked at strike three his first time up. And hitless each of the last two games against Boston, but he has never this year had 3 straight hitless games. Let's see if that kind of internal conversation Josh says he's been having with himself turns into the kind of month that we have all seen him be so capable of, and which he wants of himself. So it was fun this time last year being on fire. He wants to get that feeling going again. Tough these first 2 at bats though, with Heron painting again 1 and 2. Heron with 20 pitches each of the first 2 innings. Quick first out here in the third. And that one is ripped to right field. Hunter watches it go off the base of the wall. Maybe that gets Josh Hamilton started for the last month of the year.
Well, the only reason that wasn't a home run, it never got high enough. He He just golfed an off-speed pitch on a line so fast over Hunter's head he could hardly move, just turn around to retrieve it. And all he had to do is just get that up a little bit. It would have been almost the same pitch and the same swing as the home run he hit in Chicago the other day. And that one just never got up in the air enough. And then as hard as it was hit, Josh probably would have been held to a single if it hit the wall and bounced straight back to Hunter.
So the Rangers' 5th base hit, and 3 of the 5 are doubles. Holland and Cruz back-to-back doubles after the leadoff single by Napoli in the 2nd. Young ended the 1st, popping to Trumbo. Michael Young has been just strafing the ball against Angel pitching last couple of series. He had 3 hits in 4 of the last 6 meetings against LA at a .520 clip, 13 for 25 in those 6 games. .90-mile-an-hour fastball of Herod past Demir. It's 2-2. Well, the Red Sox are coming back on Oakland. The A's led them 8-1 into the bottom of the 4th. It's now 8-4. And Tim Wakefield long gone. Atchison now on the mound for Boston. Ripped to left field, base hit. Hamilton held at 3rd on the throw by Wells.
Well, Josh had to hesitate just a second. He wasn't sure if that ball was going to fall in. And then he was hustling to try to make up for it and score, but he got the hold sign at 3rd base with Mike Napoli coming up and 1 out. And Josh just hesitated a second to make sure that ball fell in, just being careful. And it might not have mattered. Wells has a pretty good arm, and he wasn't that deep when he fielded it anyway. And you've got a hot hitter like Napoli coming up. The way he's been swinging the bat, you feel pretty good about him in this situation.
So here is Mike with 1 out, 1st and 3rd. He led off the 2nd, working the count full, and then slamming a single right up the middle. Trying to unload the Hamilton and Young from the bags right there. What to you is the percentage that a hitter should bring in the runner from 3rd with less than 2 outs?
I'm not sure what that would be. Let's see. I would say man on 3rd base, less than 2 outs. A really good percentage would be 70%. Man, that thing wasn't close.
And Culpa giving that the inside corner. Check swing here. Hamilton caught between 3rd and home. Wilson giving chase, and Josh gives up the chase with Young standing at 3rd.
Well, they actually ended up pretty good. They've got men on 2nd and 3rd, which is probably what they would have ended up anyway if Herron picked up the ball and threw it to 1st base. So you take a chance, you run, you say to yourself, well, maybe Herron will bobble the ball and I'll be able to score. But if he doesn't, now I've got to get in a rundown and let the runner at 2nd get to 3rd and let the batter get to 2nd. And so no damage done. You take a little bit of a risk by trying to score on that ball, but you make up for it by getting in a rundown. Your men are at 2nd and 3rd anyway.
So Hamilton is retired 1-5-2 for Napoli. It's 2 base fielder's choice, and here is Moreland. He looks at strike one. First time up, he doubled on the only pitch he saw just out of the stretch of Vernon Wells in the left field corner. 2-0 lead, could double right here with a base hit, but it's 0-2.
Aaron made a good pitch to Napoli, tied him up, jammed him. First and third and one out.
This will be the 60th pitch. 20 pitches each of the first 3 innings for Heron. Holland has hit Angels pitching well. 318, 4 homers in 20 games, 8 RBIs. Cayaspo over for a look. Let's go back to this at bat by Napoli.
That ball, you could tell that's not a strike because of the way Bobby Wilson caught it. Then he comes back with pretty much the same pitch. He had good movement on that ball, and I think Ron Copa called that first pitch a strike before he really got a good look at it. Because when the catcher catches the ball and then tries to bring it back to home plate, you know the ball's out of the strike zone. If it's in the strike zone, he's just going to leave his glove there and let the umpire see it.
You think that made Mike feel like he had to swing on the second pitch?
Yeah, it's possible. First one was called a strike. He's got 2 strikes. I think it might have been a little bit of that. Might have been a little bit that he felt like it was going to be a better pitch. And then the movement just brought it so far inside, he got tied up.
Oh, that would have been another 2-bagger.
Oh, these are big runs. You'd love to pick these runs up with 2 outs. Those huge hits, 2-out hits with men in scoring position.
Going to third after a single. Napoli after that fielder's choice. We're discussing the next pitch with Wilson. And Heron unbeaten in his last 7 starts, but with only 3 wins in that stretch. Tough no decisions. He is left tied or leading in 6 of his last 7 games. Could have a lot more than 13 wins coming into this one. Into the right field corner, and Torrey Hunter waits. Puts that one away, and the Rangers scoring chance put away as well as they leave 2 in scoring position, and after 3 still lead it 2-0. Two of the only three pitchers in Rangers history with 3 or more shutouts in a season in which they finished with an ERA of over 4. Derek Holland with 4 shutouts and an ERA of 4.42 coming into this game. So what are the precedents? Holland here in the 4th will face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in Mike Scioscia's Angel lineup. Kendrick, Hunter, and Trumbo. We tied them all the first time. Striking out Kendrick, looking on 3 pitches. He still has seen nothing but strikes. Derek struck out the last 2 to end the 3rd. Borges and Abreu.
Well, good assortment of pitches tonight. Derek's had a good fastball, throwing some good curveballs, good sliders.
Kendrick, a first-time All-Star this year. Able to fight that one off. Well, the Yankee team that set the all-time record yesterday with 3 grand slams, beating the A's 22-9. Apparently, they swung themselves out.
They're going to need 3 more tonight. They're down by 11. Good breaking ball. 3 straight strikeouts for Derek. First 3 guys in the lineup have all gone down.
Check in again with Joel Thomas.
All right. Hey, Dave, we're going to be closing out this series with the Angels here on Sunday night. And if you come out and support the team, you'll get this giveaway. It's a Texas Rangers football. It's full size. Looks like it's leather. As giveaways go, this is about as good as they get. There's still plenty of time to get tickets. Go to TexasRangers.com. All kids 13 and under, 10,000 of them, first 10,000, I should say, will receive a ball. And Tom, you'll probably know the answer to this. I'm not mistaken. Wasn't there a Texas pitching coach who wanted his pitchers carrying a ball like this?
Yeah, Tom House.
Is that right?
Tom House was actually having the Ranger pitchers throw balls in the outfield before anyone ever thought of that. He used it because most pitchers were quarterbacks and liked to do it, but it also offered some conditioning for the pitchers, and he was pretty much ridiculed. Pitchers, would end up playing touch football. Jeff Russell would punt the ball 70 yards, and then about 10 years later, Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit were playing catch with a football, and everybody thought it was something new. And if those 2 guys were doing it, it must be a great idea. So I think Tom had a good idea just a little bit before his time, maybe. But, yeah, it's a good observation, Joel.
2-0 to Trumbo.
Where was that pitch?
That was pretty much where a lot of strikes have been for Ron Culpa, but not in this case.
Several pitches, including one on Napoli, that was well inside. That one looked like it might have been a strike.
Three balls and no strikes. They're trying for a 1-2-3 inning after the liner by Hunter, Randy and Kinsley. It wasn't also one of the things that Tom House was thinking there is that the mechanics of throwing a spiral are a lot like perfect mechanics throwing a baseball.
I think that entered into it. Trumbo swinging 3-0 right there. I think he thought that it helped promote mechanics. It offered some conditioning for your arm, strengthening for your arm. And in Tom's words, as much as anything, it was something that was fun for the pitchers to do, to take the monotony away from the normal workout, because they all liked to throw the football so much.
Hamilton comes in and handles the short fly off the bat of Trumbo. And it is a 1-2-3 short pitch. Top of the 4th for Derek Holland, still leading 2-0. tonight. Only 3 pitches in Rangers history with 3 or more shutouts in the season with an ERA of over 4. Jim Bibby, 1974. Ferguson Jenkins, I don't ever remember with an ERA of over 4, but he had one in 1979. And Paul Kilgis, did he immediately jump to your mind?
The only reason he jumped to my mind was I saw that question a couple of months ago, and at that time I was just as surprised as you were. And I must have watched all those shutouts, but I didn't remember that Paul did that. Ooh, boy, he had a pitch to hit right there.
Pop up, tracked by Trumbo, just out of his reach.
Nelly jumped on the first pitch he saw in the second inning and ripped a double to left center field. And boy, he had a hanger right there, right out over the plate. Trying to throw it down and away. That pitch is right down the middle of the plate. When Nelly's in a really good groove, when he's hot, that pitch goes 400 feet. Like that.
How far? Way up the hill.
How about 447? Aaron made a mistake on the pitch before it, and Nelly missed it. He threw him almost the exact same pitch, and he didn't miss that one.
Well, I can't remember a ball going higher up on the hill, certainly this year, than this 0-2 blast by Nelly Cruz, his 27th of the year.
As you said earlier, there's very little wind, so it didn't get any help. Nelly supplied the help on that one.
You see the smiles return to that dugout. Here's Murphy, who struck out and pitches away just like that.
Watch this pitch. It's supposed to be down and away, and I think it's pretty much the exact same pitch.
That's 80% up the way on the hill. Murphy's foul will reach the
Paul
seat.
Sorrento hit a ball that was wind-aided that hit right where the cement meets the grass at the top of the hill to the right of second base. And originally it was measured at I think it was 481. They changed it to 460 something. And so if it's somewhere around 460 feet to the top of the grass, I'm guessing that one's somewhere around 445 to 455.
Murphy flagged down by Ibar, but David beats it out for an infield hit.
Well, David made a little bit of an adjustment that time, at least in the fact that he knew Heron was going to pitch him away. And so he was able to reach out for that ball, get a little bit of wood on it, and get a base hit. That's pretty much where they've been trying to pitch David the first time up and this time up, and that's a pretty good pitcher's pitch. Low and on the outside corner, and David picks up an infield hit. Pretty nice play by Ibar to even make it close at first base. You know, Dave, I would say that Ron Washington's experiment to move Nelly down in the lineup to let him relax a little bit has looked like a pretty good decision so far in this game.
No kidding. Chavez has the corners charging. Yeah, dropped it down to 7. Said Nelly has pride. We want to see if we can get him to relax a little bit. He's just trying too hard. And the result so far, 2-run double in the second, and that mammoth leadoff home run. We're still waiting to hear the distance.
There's so many times in an at-bat where you don't have success and you go back to the bench and you kind of look at the at-bat and you say, you know, I got a pitch to hit and I fouled it off. If I'd have hit that pitch, it would have been a great at-bat. But there aren't many times where you get the same mistake from a pitcher like Heron anyway on back-to-back pitches, and you get a chance to make up for the one that you missed by driving it out of the ballpark on the very next pitch.
Only the 15th home run Heron has allowed all year. Chavez gets down a good bunt and gets Murphy to second.
Well, Ron Washington took a shot at the hit and run a little bit before that. Wasn't successful. They went back to the bunt to move David Murphy into scoring position.
So chance now for Ian Kinsler to add to the 3-0 lead. Ian has popped to second and grounded to first. And the Rangers already with 8 base hits in this game. After 8 straight games of no more than 8, and in many of those games, quite a few less than 8.
You know, even in this game where they've got 8 hits and 3 runs, there's still been a couple of opportunities. First inning, man on second, 1 out. Third inning, first and third, and 1 out. Both of those instances, the Rangers weren't able to score. And here's a man at second base now with 1 out, trying to get him in. Boy, Aaron's hanging that slider a lot in this game. Not as sharp as we've seen him, or as sharp as he's been frequently this year. So far, anyway. And he's throwing a lot of pitches.
Now we've got the distance on the blast by Cruz. Tom, you're pretty close. 452 feet. What did you say?
I said 447 first, and then a man down below me asked me what I thought, and I told him 451. So
you missed by a whole foot.
I was in there. But I'm going by what the one for Paul Sorrento was. I think it was 463, 464, and that one was almost that far.
Kinsler checks his swing as confirmed by Darryl Cousins. He takes a walk. That's the first walk from Heron tonight. But Scioscia not seeing what he had hoped to see or expected to see. One of his 3 aces, as they are now considered in Anaheim, with Weaver and Santana.
Well, you think about how far Nelly hit that ball, 451 feet, with a great swing, and he hit the ball well. And then you look back to last night when Adrian Gonzalez hit the ball just as far to the opposite field into the Red Sox bullpen, and see how powerful that swing was.
Boy, I heard Ron Washington rave about Adrian Gonzalez tonight like I have never heard him rave about any opposing player.
Well,
obviously with
after
good
that
reason.
series, he had pretty good reason to do it.
I mean, he just went on and on about his fielding skills, hitting everything everywhere. That kind of power, opposite field power, is a stud. Wash doesn't talk like that, doesn't gush really about anybody, especially not the opposition. But how could you not? Elvis tonight at infield hit a steal in the first and a grounder to short last time.
Well, Gonzalez has a beautiful swing, and in that regard, it's a lot like Rafael Palmeiro. Same smooth swing, hit the ball to all fields. When his career's over, he probably won't hit as many home runs as Rafi, but he's got more power. Rafi never hit a ball like that to left center field.
Elvis reaches out, flips a little pop-up onto shallow right, handled by Hunter. Well, the distance for Cruz, the 10th longest home run in the Rangers ballpark history, the 3rd longest in the park this year. 452 out on Greens Hill.
That was almost up off the tent on top of the camera well in left center field. Those guys had a little protection up there. Steve, were you a little bit worried on that one?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Steve was probably an outfielder in his day. He knew it wasn't going to quite get up that far.
Steve Tennyson's day was quite a while ago. Hamilton will be retired unassisted by Trumbo, but Nelson Cruz has driven in all 3 Ranger runs, and through 4, he has made it 3-0 Texas. PortCityToyota.com. And by Whataburger, just like you like it. Cruz supplying all the offense so far, and Holland supplying 4 shutout innings. Into the 5th, he's got Wells, Callaspo, and Ibar. Wooded Wells singled on a 3-2 pitch back in the 2nd. He'll extend his hitting streak to 5.
The Rangers really have let some opportunities go by to have a much bigger lead against Heron. They've worked him over for over 80 pitches and 8 hits through 4 innings. Good fastball. Good command, too. When Derek's missing with his fastball, it's either inside or outside. It's not over the plate. It's impossible to pitch a game without leaving a bunch of pitches over the middle of the plate. But he's minimizing it so far in this game.
Yeah, the Angels seeing the good Holland. Generally, when he's this sharp into the middle innings, and he stays that sharp as long as he can stay in. 4 times it's been all 9.
There's 2 examples of it. It's behind in the count 2-1, but at least when he missed, it wasn't a hittable pitch.
His 70th pitch. Also missing in 3 balls and a strike. He has not walked an Angel yet.
He jumped ahead, no balls in 1 strike. Threw the first pitch for a strike. You don't want to lead off walk right here.
Back below us, 3-2. And of the 4 hits he has allowed, 2 were infield hits, and 1 was somewhat controversial. Holland thought he had tagged Abreu back in the 1st before he got to the bat. So really, you have the 2 solid singles by Borges and Wells. Wells this time bounces to Kinsler, having himself a time out there at second base tonight, but he does recover to get the out.
Well, you just thought on a fairly slowly hit ball that deep at second base, that close to second base, once you bobble it, you just assume that the runner's going to be safe at first base. But fortunately, Ian's arm strength makes up for the bobble, and he gets the out.
He's had a couple of, for Kinsler especially, very unusual throws that pulled Moreland off the bag, and very fortunate that this didn't turn into an error.
Dave, you asked a question earlier, and Eric Josephson did some research to find the answer. You asked, what's a good percentage of getting a runner in from third base with less than 2 outs? I guessed that a really good one would be 70%. The average in Major League Baseball is 55%. 55% of the time, a Major League hitter gets the runner in from third base with less than 2 outs. Now, it may be a ground ball out, might be a sacrifice fly, might be a base hit. The league leader, Major League leader, is 89%. So somewhere in between is a really good number. Brandon Phillips, Cincinnati's infielder, second baseman, is the one that has 89%.
3-1 pitch here to Callaspo, swing and a miss at 94.
They came back and got Vernon Wells from a 3-1 count. Ran it to 3-2. Trying to avoid a walk to put a runner on base. See if he can get Callaspo.
Chopper, bad hop over Michael Young, and the Angels have their 5th hit.
It looked like it hit the lip. Looked like a routine ground ball. Michael was going to have to go to his left and make a nice throw, but it looked like it hit right where the grass meets the dirt. Let's see if that's the case.
Yep.
It just skipped once it hit right there. Not much you can do about that.
And as perfectly groomed as Major League fields are these days, the bad hops are just unheard of. It has to hit like that one.
Yeah, that's not because of bad grass or bad dirt. That's just something that's unavoidable if whatever once every couple of weeks a ball hits there, not going to take a perfect hop.
Michael charging. Barely gets Ibar on the bunt, which gets Cayasco the second now with 2 outs.
Yeah, Michael, I'm sure, anticipates Ibar as a possible bunt candidate. So he's playing in to begin with. He gets a good jump, fields it on the run, and nips him at first base. Ibar bunted that probably a little harder than he wanted to. But really, when Michael is playing in on the grass, it makes it pretty tough to lay the ball down there and beat it out.
So here is Bobby Wilson. Fielder's choices first time up. The Angels with runners in scoring position so far tonight, 0 for 2. Ibar being credited with a sacrifice.
That's a bad call. There's no way that's a sacrifice. You're bunting with 1 out. You're down 3-0. You're supposed to give the benefit to the hitter. So in that regard, I guess you can give it a sacrifice. But in that particular play, in Ibar's mind, he was 100% bunting for a base hit. But based on the instructions to official scorekeeper, certainly within the boundaries by calling it a sacrifice.
Well, Holland now 3-0 behind the 197 hitting number 9 hitting Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, he's trying to make his pitches, but he's missing by a lot inside. And so you want to make your pitches, but you definitely don't want to walk the 9th place hitter.
Derek had 82 pitches on a good night for him. Not the batter you want to spend any extra pitches on. But a 4-pitch walk will give Peter Borges a chance with 2 on now and 2 out in the 5th.
Yeah, and the pitch count in this inning is going to be something that's going to keep him from pitching deep into the ball game. And that's just a spot in the game where you just can't have your first walk right there. You're not facing Kendrick or Hunter or Trumbo. You're facing the 9th place hitter with a chance to get out of the inning. Now you've got to get a much tougher hitter right here than Peter Borges in a 3-run game.
It's really the first lapse we've seen from Derek tonight. He's been pretty well locked in. He's got to deal with Borges, who singled leading off the game. Ended that inning. Caught stealing at third in a strike him out, throw him out double play. Struck out his next time. Where he was trying to get the ball into Wilson. Borges with runners in scoring position this year, not great. But again, over his last 10 games coming into this series, a .419 hitter. Bringing his average up some 17 points in a week and a half. And getting some extra base hits, too. He's 4th in the league in slugging percentage in August. Just a guy that slaps it and tries to outrun everything to first base. Well placed again, 1 and 2.
And now that's where he's trying to throw it. When you throw it in, that's where you're trying to throw it. Throw it for an excellent pitcher's strike. Struck out Borges the last time he was up with a breaking ball. Off speed, down and out of the strike zone.
This time he gets him with heat.
3 fastballs, all in, all looking. Made it a little tough for himself, but he got the job done.
USA 21 is brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Toyota, moving forward. Rangers fifth. They'll have Young, Napoli, and Moreland against Dan Herron, who has allowed 3 runs on 8 hits. All the runs scoring courtesy Nelson Cruz, a 2-run double in the second, and a leadoff home run of 452 feet to straightaway center in the fourth. He's left men on in every inning. He's left 2 on in each of the last 2. Young going after the first pitch has popped to first and singled. One of the chances the Rangers had to have a bigger lead was after Michael singled. That was in the third, in which Hamilton had doubled with 1 out. Michael hit a line drive to left. Vernon Wells playing fairly shallow, so Hamilton was held at third, and then on a grounder by Napoli was caught in a rundown. And Herron got out of the second and third jam by getting Mitch Moreland to fly out. In the last inning, he had Murphy at second with 1 out, and Kinsler at first, but got Andrews to fly to right. Hamilton to ground out to first on the first pitch he saw. Michael now within 7 hits of Adrian Gonzalez. Goes over that one. Ibar not in time. Infield hit. Michael has 2 tonight.
When you watch Ibar make that play, there's literally not much else he could do. He charges it as hard as he can. He throws it as hard as he can. It's scooped by Trumbo at first base. Michael just beat it out. That's a nice defensive play all the way around. Just didn't have time to make it.
Again, the Rangers with a hit in every inning. Napoli had one leading off the second, followed by the Moreland double, followed by the Cruz 2-run double. And so that inning, Rangers had 2 runs in. Cruz at second, nobody out. But Herron struck out Murphy and got Chavez and Kinsler to ground out. So the 3-0 lead, very nice, could be larger. In Baltimore, I guess the Yankees have recovered some of their energy. They were down 9-1 to Baltimore through 5. Then it became 12-1 through 6, but they come back with 3 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. It is now 12-5 Orioles batting bottom of the 8th as they brace for Hurricane Irene's arrival.
91 pitches in this game for Dan Herron. Rangers have really worked him over pretty well. They've got 9 hits against him. Nobody out in the inning. They've left some scoring opportunities out there. Nelly Cruz has driven in 3, though. So Herron, who's having an outstanding year, is going to see his ERA go above 3 anyway. His opponent's batting average coming into the game was .227. The Rangers have 9 hits in 4 innings against him. That one might have been a strike earlier. At least one time it was to Mike. That time it wasn't. It didn't look like a strike either. And it might have been in the vicinity of the one that was called a strike.
Kendrick dropped by Ibar, and everybody's safe.
That's a huge play for the Rangers, and something you don't expect from the Angels. Angels generally make those type of routine plays. It looked like a pretty good throw from Kendrick. Might have just been a case of Ibar trying to be too quick coming across the bag. I'm sure he's aware of Michael Young bearing down on him, though. Goes to catch it with his glove. Maybe takes his eye off the ball because of Michael Young's hard slide. And maybe it was that hard slide that caused that play. In any event, Rangers have a couple of men on and nobody out now.
Eric Ibar committing only his 9th error of the year. He's the 3rd ranked American League shortstop in terms of fielding percentage. So here is Moreland. A double and a fly to right.
This will give you a good look what the shortstop's looking at right there. He knows he's going to have to get out of the way. He's aware of the runner. And I'm sure that kind of pressure from Michael caused him to take his eye off the ball and miss that throw from Kendrick.
2 huge cuts by Moreland.
Okay, now you can't take that same cut. Now you've got a battle up there. Put the ball in play. Hit a line drive back through the middle.
Just out in front of it too much.
He's lucky he got that in where he did, or that wouldn't have gone foul like that. He's trying to get it in. He throws the cutter in. It's a pretty good strike. Might not have been as far in as he wanted it. Mitch hit it on the good part of the bat, that's for sure. There's where he's trying to get it, way in.
It's been a while since Mitch has gone deep here in the ballpark. His last 6 home runs all on the road.
It's a good time for one.
Yep, he was at 4 last year in this against Angel pitching. High there, 2-2.
Going to go well over 100 pitches this inning. This will be number 100 coming up.
And he gets him looking.
Well, everything was in until that last pitch. Goes away, and I think he surprised Mitch with the location of that pitch. Everything in, then he tails one away right on the outside corner. That was a good pitch.
Aaron's 3rd strikeout. The Rangers have had multiple base runners now, every inning except the first, when they had 1 base runner. That was Andrews, who got the scoring position. And here's the man that Heron has not come close to solving, Nelson Cruz. 2-run double in the 2nd. Home run leading off the 4th. This dribbler will stay fair, and Cruz loads the bases with his 3rd hit of the night. And his last one went 452 feet. This one barely 52 feet.
You know, another observation on Nelly is he went to the plate that time, and maybe the other times, without batting gloves. I always remember Nelly wearing batting gloves, but he doesn't have them on right there. And maybe, I didn't notice, might not have had them on the other times up. Well, he's got a 450-foot home run and a 72-foot single.
Guy who had 4 hits in his last 7 games should be smiling. So they're loaded with 1 out for Murphy. Murphy had an infield hit his last time up. First time he struck out.
Got to pick up a run here. There's been too many chances that the Rangers have allowed Heron to escape from.
Keep working David away. 1-1. David due for a big hit too. 3 RBIs over his last 22 games.
They just need a fly ball. Just get one of these runs in. You'd love to have more, but you want to get one.
A little bit like Mitch Moreland's swing.
Well, Herron, and it was kind of like Mitch Moreland's at bat. Herron had thrown David everything away and then tried to sneak one in. With Mitch Moreland, he threw everything in and then snuck one away.
Back in again. That one could go down the right field line. Grand slam home run for David Murphy. And the Rangers bust this one wide open.
Not sure exactly what Herron was thinking. He's definitely trying to get David out all game by throwing him away. He tried to sneak one in. David was right on it, but pulled it foul. And then he threw him another one in, and he hit a grand slam. That's just a bad outing for Dan Herron. A great outing for the Rangers, and one happy moment for David Murphy. He tried to get that one in, which he did. He's going to try to throw him the exact same pitch. Maybe a little bit more to David's liking. But he went away with what he had been trying to do the whole game, go away. And David was ready for it. And he gets the hit that knocks Herron out of the game and inflates his ERA a little bit.
One swing, he gets more RBIs than he's had in his last 22 games and gets a curtain call, and Dan Herron out of the game at 7-0. David took the curtain call after his grand slam, which turned this from a 3-0 into a 7-0 game. Dan Herron is gone and gives way to Jerome Williams.
That's really a case of the Rangers taking advantage of a great opportunity. It looked like the ball that Napoli hit to Kendrick was going to be a double play, but the Angels didn't turn it. Ibar dropped it, and after Nelly's infield hit, David Murphy made them pay.
Ibar, a guy just doesn't miss plays like that. And the door was open. And a frustrated offensive team, shut down the last 3 nights by Boston Red Sox pitching, has exploded tonight. All the runs scoring on extra base hits.
You know, the last time the Rangers faced Herron was in Anaheim, and he went 4 1/3 innings in that game as well and gave up 9 hits and 7 runs. Today it's 11 hits and 7 runs. One of them is unearned. So a very similar outing.
Chavez couldn't hold up and strikes out. And Herron's ERA this year against the Rangers now has climbed to 8.27. His career, it was 390 with a 4-6 record. But he is gone tonight after 4 1/3 innings. 7 runs, tying his season high. 11 base hits is a season high. And Kinsler rips that one off the top of the wall. And he'll have himself a double.
What a difference a day makes. It wasn't like the Rangers were facing a soft touch today. Herron's one of the best pitchers in the league. But they've gotten some pitches like that. They've gotten some hangers. They've had some pitches that were hittable. But the big thing is they've hit them. They've taken advantage of them. They've been right on a lot of pitches today.
So now Andrews trying to bring another run home with 2 outs. That was 1 for 3. And now Jerome Williams, native of Honolulu. Former first-round pick by the Giants out of Waipahu High School in Honolulu, 1999. In the majors this year for the first time since 6 outings with the Nationals back in 2007. And Ibar ends this inning better than it began. The Rangers on David Murphy's grand slam. Definitely worth another look. Lead it 7-0. Night when the Rangers host the Oakland A's. Enter Verizon as the coupon code on TexasRangers.com, and you can purchase $10 tickets in select seating areas. You'll also enjoy $5 cash parking and a post-game fireworks show. So Derek Holland, when he last left the mound, led 3-0 That lead expanded by 4 as he faces Abreu, Kendrick, and Hunter here in the 6th.
I let my announcements slip by in all the excitement of this game.
There's
stuff
going on tonight. There's a good inning to catch up.
Recognizing people here. Kevin and Stephen Crawford. Kevin is a woman's name, K-E-V-E-N. They're from Arlington. They sent up, I'm sure Kevin did, a delicious pecan pie. Want to say hi to their 23-year-old son, Sean, who lives in Boulder, Colorado, and watches the game while he works at night on his computer. So, Sean, if you're watching, hi from your mom and dad. And I'm sure you already know that your mother makes a great pecan pie. And Ken and Norma Beck, they're from Emory, Texas, set up a huge basket of preserves. Looks like they might run a produce farmer's market in Emory. Thank you very much, Kenny and Norma Beck. And then I got a nice letter from John McCormick. The other night we were talking about a hitter who got a scorer's decision, and I said something like, I've never heard of a hitter ever turning down a base hit. And John must be a historian, and he says that Paul Wainer, way back when he was going for his 3,000th hit a ball that he beat out that could have been a hit, could have been an error, and he looked up to the official scorekeeper and he shook his finger as if to say, I don't want that hit. So the scorekeeper gave it an error, and after the game they asked him, why didn't you want that hit? And he said, I wanted my 3,000th hit to be a clean hit. So John from Dallas, Texas, John McCormick, thank you very much for that. Generally, when you say there's never been or you've never heard of and you're watching a baseball game, you're probably going to be wrong. So thanks for pointing that out.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Well, a leadoff walk with a 7-0 lead. Not what Ron Washington was looking for here. Top 3 in the Angel lineup. 9 at bats. They have struck out 5 times. Kendrick both times looking in the first, swinging in the fourth. Both 3-pitch at bats. 1 pitch here could turn into 2 and does. Wow. The Rangers' 3rd double play.
And that was not a hard hit ball, and Kendrick runs pretty well. So it takes 2 strong throws to make that double play. Michael has to get rid of it quickly. He has to throw it hard, and it has to be accurate. And that allows Ian to come across the bag, get the ball out of his glove, and then use his arm strength to make the throw at first base. And watch Ian. He doesn't come across the bag. He steps back and just fires it with something on it. You have to have great arm strength to make that kind of a throw and turn that double play. So
with that quicker release too.
Yeah, that's why Ron Washington, when he talks about Ian, says he thinks that he turns a double play as well as any second baseman. And we saw the Red Sox, and I think right there with him is Dustin Pedroia.
Torrey Hunter bunts his way on. He had struck out and lined to Kinsler his first 2 trips.
Well, I guess he saw Ian back at 7-0, and they need base runners. And they've got a man at first base now.
So the 6th hit allowed by Holland, and half of them have been infield hits. Samuel Trumbo both times. On a shot back to the mound. Eric recovered and threw him out. Last time on a fly to left. And this time on a fielder's choice. So the inning started with the leadoff walk. Ends quite a bit better for Holland, shutting out the Angels now through 6. $400 and dinner for two at a Sonic Drive-In. And the Rangers tonight are hitting for Waldine Harrison from Grandview. If the Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Waldine Harrison from Grandview will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Waldine, you're 1 inning late. Could have cashed in last inning on David Murphy. We'll see what develops here in the Rangers' sixth, which will be led off by Josh Hamilton, who has struck out, doubled, and grounded to first. Josh, each of his bats going after the first pitch. Last 2 trips. Michael Young next, and then Mike Napoli. Dan Herron's last 2 outings against the Rangers have been disturbingly similar if you're Dan Herron. 4 1/3 tonight, 11 hits, 7 runs. July 20th in Anaheim, 4 1/3, 9 hits and 7 runs as Hamilton strikes out for the second time tonight. Rangers hope that this big lead will stand, because that July 20th game, Herron left trailing 7-3. Angels came back against Holland and Tommy Hunter and won that one 9-8. This does not have that kind of feel to it at all.
Well, for one thing, you're not going to see Tommy Hunter tonight.
Nope, and we're not at Anaheim.
You're probably going to see, if you need relievers, a little different look.
Michael tonight 2 hits. And he ignited that 5th inning, beating out the infield hit. Taking second on the error, the drop throw by Ibar. Then the Napoli fielder's choice, followed up by the strikeout of Moreland, the Cruz infield hit, then the Murphy slam. Williams now facing his 5th hitter. He has struck out 2. Allowed the Kinsler double. But for Michael, it's a 3-hit night. And the Rangers still with at least 1 hit in every inning. It's against the top staff in the American League. The Angels with a team ERA of 3.45. Rangers starters are 4th at 3.74. The overall staff has fallen to 8th at 3.86.
It's nice to see Derek have a strong start, as has been pretty well reported over the last couple of weeks. The young starters or inexperienced starters like Ogando are reaching a point where they're coming down the stretch with 5 or 6 more starts with more innings than they've ever had. And how will they respond? How will their arms respond? And Derek showing that he's got a lot of life in his arm as you approach September. Throwing a lot of strikes, keeping his fastball well into the low to mid 90s. I think when you look at Derek this year, there's been some great games, more good games than not, but occasionally there's a clunker, and they've been pretty well spaced out. It's not like they're all coming all of a sudden as he gets tired at the end of the year. I think they come just because on those given nights he just hasn't been consistent. But watching him tonight, it doesn't look like there's any tiredness in his arm. He looked like he came out aggressive. He worked quickly. He pitched confidently, is pitching confidently, and he's thrown a lot of strikes.
And he said yesterday he's not backing off at all between starts. He's throwing as much in his between outings work as he ever did, heat or no heat.
Well, you know, that's true with Matt Harrison, too. I watched Matt before the game while I was up here writing some things down for the game. He was out in right field with Jose Vasquez, the conditioning coach, and Adrian Beltre, who was running out there. And he was running foul line to foul line, sweating, working, running, not backing off a bit, doing the work he has to do between starts. So I think that's true of everybody in the rotation.
Napoli muscles that base hit up the middle. He's got a 2-hit night. Let's check in with Joel Thomas.
Hey, thanks, Dave. We're up here with Tim Halper, and singer-songwriter. Most people know him from American Idol, but he's also a TCU alum, and he's up here tonight. He's working with a group called Frogs for the Cure. Tell me a little bit about that, Tim.
Well, it's incredible. Frogs for the Cure has been this ever. This is the 7th year that we've been doing this, and every year it's got bigger and bigger. It supports Komen for the Cure, and it's our way of giving back, and it culminates in a home football game where everybody wears pink to support the cause, and we come out and show our support for Komen. Well, this year was no different from the trend of getting bigger and better. We just did yesterday a 1,500-person flash mob video. We even had Mark Cuban show up. We had people. It was crazy. I mean, the amount of people that showed up for the cause was insane.
And you've been helping out that cause, too. Tell me about your song and how folks at home can help out.
Yeah, I wrote a song about a year and a half ago called We Fight Back, and I wish I could take the credit for the lyrics. The inspiration came from breast cancer survivors, received a list of words that these were words when these survivors thought of their battle with breast cancer. So I put those words directly into the song, wrote the lyrics, we recorded this song, and then we put it up on iTunes and decided, hey, let's give the proceeds to Komen, and we're now using it for Frogs for the Cure. This is the second year using this song. We just did that new video for it. So you can buy it on iTunes, and the proceeds during the month of October go straight back to Komen.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Tim. The guys in the truck want to tell you, go Frogs.
Love it. Absolutely go Frogs. We're going to dominate this year. Look out. Home Frogs.
All right, Dave, back to you.
Vernon Wells can't come up with that one, and another run scores as Michael Young comes home on Mitch Moreland's second double of the night.
Yeah, and both doubles have been pretty much the exact same thing. Fly balls to left field that just eluded Vernon Wells. The first one he couldn't quite get to. This one he dives for or slides for and couldn't quite get to this one. So 2 doubles, both of them similarly hit toward the left field line, a little bit too far toward the line for Vernon Wells to get to.
As soon as he left his feet, no question, Young was coming home. Mitch was getting second base, and here is Cruz, 3 for 3 with a 2-run double in the second, a leadoff home run in the fourth, and an infield hit that rolled about 2/3 of the way up the third base line and died in the fifth. That loaded the bases for Murphy, and this one hit high and deep to left field. Wells looks up. It's in the bullpen. A 3-run home run, and the incredible night for Cruz continues.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction, Dave. I'm going to predict that Nelly Cruz is hitting 7th again tomorrow night. Because that experiment has definitely paid some dividends tonight. 2 home runs, a double, a single, and 6 RBIs.
There, he was really happy about that. That would be Waldine Harrison from Grandview. As Murphy rifles a base hit up the middle.
Oh, good night for David, too. 2 singles and a grand slam.
Boy, they're teeing off 5 straight hits now against Williams. Waldine Harrison winning $400 and dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In, courtesy the Cruz home run. Well, his first one with .452, well up on the hill in center field. We'll see where that one clocks in. Nelson Cruz with a 6 RBI game. Believe it or not his career high. He had 8 July 22nd against Toronto. 1 shy of the Rangers club record. He has now all 4 of the Rangers' 6+ RBI games in the last 3 years. Chavez, the only Ranger without a base hit tonight, beats out that relay. Cruz had 6 RBIs on July 1st against Florida and April 15th, 2009 against Baltimore. In the 8 RBI game July 22nd against the Blue Jays, and tonight 4 for 4, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. This for a guy who was 4 for 27 over his last 7 games. Kinsler's last 2 trips, a double and a walk. First 2, he popped up and grounded out. So the Rangers unloading against Jerome Williams, who has given up 4 runs here on 5 straight hits. So the Rangers put together back-to-back 4-run innings and stretch their lead to 11. First shot by Cruz, 452, way up on the hill, leading off the 4th. Next inning, bases loaded for David Murphy, who unloaded him. Let's stretch the lead to 7-0, and then Nelson Cruz doing it again, 425 feet this time into the visitors' bullpen. Right off the car, not the kid. A couple of guys who had been really frustrated, letting some of that pent-up stuff come out and victimize Dan Herron and Jerome Williams tonight. Benefit Derek Holland, who is 2/3 of the way through his 5th shutout of the year. Now he's about to throw his 100th pitch.
We were talking about before the game. You got a month of the season left, and the Rangers need their hitters to get hot for the last month. They haven't been hot the last week or so. It's nice to see this kind of a game. Especially nice to see Nelly Cruz get hot. He can carry the team when he gets hot with a game like that. But also David Murphy, who's been such an important part of the team the last few years. David can get hot, be one more hitter throughout the lineup that can get big hits for you. David's done that so many times for the Rangers. Great to see him have a game like this too.
And he's been talking about being harder on himself this year because he's played less. He's not had the margin for error in off games that he's had in past years. He's also talked about kind of the same thing that Cruz has been going through, trying too hard and Swing at the pitch almost before it's even out of the pitcher's hand. And it seems that both these guys have corrected a lot of the ills in the first 6 innings of this game.
I think you're especially susceptible to that when you're not playing every day. And when you get your chance to play, you feel even more like you've got to make something happen. And so you probably do put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Jordan Wells with a leadoff double, the first extra base hit allowed by Holland.
But a grand slam and 3 hits in a ball game, that'll let you take a deep breath and feel pretty good.
Part of now a 17-hit Ranger attack. Red Sox are going to look at this and say they got out of town right in time. And they are trailing the A's 13-4 in the top half of the ninth at Fenway. Callaspo's grounded into a double play and single. Nelson Cruz is the first player in Rangers history with 3 games of 6 or more RBIs in a single season. The only other player to do so since Gary Sheffield did it with the Yankees back in 2005. 8th career multi-home run game. That's what the Rangers have been missing. And now hope they can look forward to not ridiculous explosions like this for the next month, but the kind of contributions that he has shown over the last 3-4 years that he is more than capable of, and what he expects of himself.
Tadayama's getting warmed up in the bullpen, and I think Ron Washington would love to see Derek go out and have a quick 7th inning, end up with 111, 112 pitches, and get 7 innings in. Going to give him a shot to do it. That's 107 pitches. But just in case he runs into some problems and his pitch count gets up there, Yoshinori will be ready to come in. And that out of Callaspo helps.
Everything coming together. The bats, 2 Cole players igniting, and Derek Holland on one of his on nights, about to improve his record to 12-5. Eric Ibar has reached on an infield hit. Last time looked like he was trying to bunt his way on. He's credited with a sacrifice bunt. He's also committed just his 9th error of the season.
We can't think of too much good to say about the last 3 games against the Red Sox, but one benefit from being in 3 games like that is the late inning bullpen guys that you're counting on to save games all got a pretty good rest. And in this type of a season, any type of a season, when you're coming down to the last month, you'd love to have your key guys in the bullpen well rested. So they are right now. In fact, Mike Adams had to pitch last night just to get an inning and get some work.
Line drive. Young has it. 2 outs in the 7th.
Derek has a chance to get through 7 innings with 112, 113 pitches. Good solid outing. A couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Pitched out of a couple of jams. Had good stuff. He had a good fastball tonight. He missed in a little bit. Caused him some extra pitches. But he mixed in a good curveball and a good slider against a team that was playing really well at a time when the Rangers really needed a win. Lost those 3 games to Boston, saw the lead dwindle, have your competitor come into town and come out and pitch a game like this, set the tone for the game. Nice job.
He's been backed by 17 hits, as many as the Rangers had in their last 3 games combined. Rangers have not lost 4 straight at home since Baltimore came in here and swept 4 just before the All-Star break last year. And it is not going to happen here. One of Holland's few bobbles, the 4-pitch walk to the number 9 hitting Wilson. back in the 5th, and behind him here 2 balls and no strikes. Well, again, 3 balls and no strikes. At now 113 pitches.
Yeah, for some reason, with Bobby Wilson, every pitch he throws goes about 8 inches inside. There's 3 of them. It happened last time when he walked them.
Bottom of the zone there. Wilson thought he had another free pass, as did Mike Scioscia. Little fister, and it falls for a base hit, and that will end the shutout as Wells scores from second base. Wilson gets only his 6th RBI of the year. That'll do it for overall terrific performance when the Rangers really needed it from Derek Holland.
We talked about the experience that the young pitchers are getting, and they're getting in the pennant race, and the fans are letting them know how much they appreciate it. Young pitchers grow up in a hurry in these kind of situations.
For a guy who had strong hit, you can purchase $20 lower level tickets for the Rangers 3-game set against the Tampa Bay Rays starting Tuesday. Just enter Michael as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Save up to 53% on corner box or lower reserve tickets. So Yoshinori Tateyama takes over with the run in, 2 outs, Wilson at first, and the top of the order, Borges, who singled leading off the game and struck out his next 2 trips.
Nice season for Yosh. Got a strikeout per inning. 40 strikeouts in 39 innings. And that pitch is one of the reasons why. Good movement and location with his fastball. He really knows how to pitch.
Last time he worked was Wednesday. Gave up 2-run home run to Jacoby Ellsbury in 1 inning. Before that, 8 1/3 scoreless innings. Borges pops up. Andrews puts it away. Derek Holland, 6 2/3, 1 run on 8 hits, struck out 6, walked 2. He will improve to 12-5 on the year. TXA21 is brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Toyota, moving forward. Derek Holland's last 2 outings against the LA Angels, 6 2/3 tonight. A run on 8 hits with 6 strikeouts. August 16th at Anaheim, 8 2/3, 9 hits, 3 runs, and 7 strikeouts.
And a couple of those runs in that August 16th game came right at the end. It looked like he was right on the verge of getting his complete game and maybe giving up a run. The Angels got him a little bit right at the end.
Their third pitcher of the night is Rich Thompson. 5 home runs, including 2 August 15th against the Rangers, matching his career high. He had allowed only 3 in his first 33 appearances of the season. And Andrews with a base hit up the middle. A 2-hit night. And a night in which he started 0 for his last 13. And here's our Toyota on the road American League Baseball scoreboard. Indians over Kansas City 2-1. Baltimore 12-5 over the Yankees. Tampa Bay won at Toronto 6-1. Oakland 15-4, bottom of the 9th at Fenway. Detroit 8-1 over Minnesota, top of the 8th. Chicago 2, Seattle 0 in the second inning at Safeco Field. One and one to Hamilton, a double, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. In the National League, Rockies lead the Dodgers 1-0. That game in the top half of the second, and it was delayed about 25 minutes because the umpires were caught in traffic trying to get to Dodger Stadium.
Better leave earlier next time.
Can't say I've ever heard of a delay for that reason. But if it was going to happen, that's where you would expect it. Lots of changes in addition to Thompson for the Angels here in the bottom of the seventh, as Hank Conger takes over for Wilson behind the plate. Russell Branyan, the veteran, now at first base. Trumbo moving from first, but staying in the game, as Hamilton strikes out for the third time. And Trumbo now is in left field, with the rookie Mike Trout now in center field.
Trout's in right. Borges stays in center, I think.
Yep, I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah, Borges is still in center.
That's the better part of Mike Sosier's club. He is now removed or moved. And Michael Young trying for a 4-hit night. Young popped to first to end the first. 3 straight singles. Scored after the last 2, the 5th and the 6th. Rangers have scored in every inning except the 1st and the 3rd, and they left Andrus in scoring position in the 1st, and then at 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd. And Tom, you said at the time, boy, there's some good scoring chances that the Rangers are just letting slip by, and they could have had a bigger lead than Dan Herron had allowed to that point. Well, they finally got that bigger lead.
Yep, they broke through, and David Murphy's grand slam was the one that broke through. That broke the game open. It was a 3-0 game in the bottom of the 5th when David hit that grand slam.
Thompson now has arguably the fastest outfield in baseball out there, even considering that he's got Trumbo in left field. Borges in center, Trout in right.
Well, they got 2 of the fastest ones, that's for sure.
Ibar not able to get the double play. But they get the second out of the inning at second base. And that brings up Mike Napoli looking for his 3rd hit. Michael beating it down the line a couple of times tonight, including for his infield single, which ignited the 4-run Ranger 5th. Napoli has scored 3 times after 2 singles and after a fielder's choice. Herron 4 1/3, 7 runs, 11 hits. Jerome Williams 1 2/3, 4 runs on 6 hits. Moreland RBI double and the Cruz 3-run home run. And another ground ball for Eric Ibar, and another fielder's choice at second base. Rangers still have had a hit in every inning. And we go to the 8th at 11-1. On to flashback moment, Nelson Cruz with his first of 2 home runs. Way up on Greens Hill, leading off the 4th inning, 452 feet. Next time up, a 3-run shot in the 6th, into the bullpen, traveling 425 feet. For great deals, go to shophonda.com. Let's see, 877 combined feet there. Also a 2-run double, an infield a single, 4 for 4, 3 runs scored, 6 runs batted in. Fernando was 4 for his last 27. Bobby Abreu leads off the Angel 8th against Tateyama, who followed 6 2/3 from Derek Holland. $38,256 in the ballpark tonight. Tomorrow, as of the beginning of the game, there are only 500 reserve seats left. Then standing room would open. And for Sunday, about 6,000 tickets remained as of just a couple hours ago. Also, don't forget tomorrow, 5 o'clock before the game, across the street on the North Lawn, the concert by Mercy Me. Napoli goes out Abreu, who is now 1 for 3. So tomorrow, C.J. Wilson going for his 14th win against Irvin Santana. For the first time in his career, working on just 3 days rest. What will be a packed house. Angels are 9-2 in his last 11 starts. There was good news earlier about Adrian Beltre, who has been cleared for a rehab assignment.
And he's going to join the AAA team. I believe they're in Omaha on Monday. I was watching him run in the outfield today with Jose Vasquez, and it looked like he was running fine. He's been fielding balls, been hitting. And it'd be nice to get him on that rehab. Nice to get him back in the lineup.
Howie Kendrick gets his first hit of the night. We talk about a guy who's been chomping at the bit. Re-aggravated that hamstring 3 weeks ago. Ranger medical staff at the time said it would be at least 3 more weeks. So the day is finally at hand, and hopefully next week see Adrian back out there at third base. Here's the first at bat for Mike Trout. Prize rookie. First round draft pick just 2 years ago out of Millville High School in New Jersey. And talking before the game with both Trout and Trumbo about this issue of who's faster, Trout or Borges, which has come up on previous Rangers-Angels broadcasts. Trumbo's take on it was he thinks Trout is faster home to first. He can't remember ever seeing a guy get to full speed faster than Mike Trout. Borges, he thinks, probably faster going from first to third. But if you were to line him up on a 40-yard dash, he couldn't pick a winner. And asked Trout before the game how many times has he been asked who's faster, Trout or Borges. He couldn't remember how many times. A lot. And he also declined to say who he thought would win that mythical race.
If he doesn't know who is going to win a 40-yard dash, he's probably not too sure that Trout's quicker to first base either, because it's almost the same sprint. They're both really fast. There's no doubt about that. They're both great athletes. And when you look at the Angels down the road, 3 or 4 years down the road.
Base hit to right field.
And you look at Trout and Borges in the outfield and Trumbo playing first base. You've got 3 good young kids that you can build a team around. And not many teams in baseball have 3 quality young position players like those 3. No one has guys that can run like Trout and Borges.
The surprising thing Trout told me was having been a great high school football player for his dad, who said he probably could have played Division I football, said he has never been timed in the 40. He ran a 60 at 6'3", which is about what Borges said he also is running a 60. Borges also played high school football, also never timed in the 40. Something that clearly, if they had grown up around here, would not have been the case. But here is Trumbo, 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, the one thing that is very easy to do, and you could talk to any scout that has seen them both play, is you can time them to first base. They're both right-hand hitters, and you can time them both going to first base. Sometimes that doesn't give you a clear choice as to who's faster, because one of them may get out of the box a little quicker based on his swing and how he follows through. But it's a pretty good indication.
Strike 2 to Trumbo. Well, here's an unscientific measurement. I just watched Trout get to first, and he was at first base before that ball fell in right field. Pretty well hit shot, too. Tatayama's 0-2 pitch is lined softly up the middle, and Trumbo will drive home the second Angel run of the night as Kendrick scores 3 straight singles against Yoshi. And for Mark Trumbo, his team leading 70th run batted in. And now the first at bat of the night for the veteran Russell Branyan in Vernon Wells' spot after taking over at first. Stirring out the Ranger bullpen, and Mark Lowe will begin to throw. The Angels now 2 runs on 11 hits. They've had a hit in every inning except the 4th. And 3 straight here after Tatayama retired the first 2 batters he faced. So they're looking at the end of their 6-game winning streak. The Rangers looking at the end of their 3-game losing streak and a 3-game lead in the division. Angels came in here adjusting the rotation, hoping they could leave Arlington in first place in the American League West, and that will now not happen. Unless they somehow got another 9 runs plus in them. That is well hit way back to right field in the upper porch. Russell Branyan with a 3-run home run has made it a little bit closer. And for the second straight outing, Yoshi Tatayama gives up the long ball. And 4 straight hits with 1 out here in the 8th.
Now, Brandon's a legitimate power hitter, and he's one of those guys that can come off the bench and hit a home run for you. We saw him do that against the Rangers in Anaheim. He's always been that kind of a guy. He's never, only 1 year did he really get a chance to play every day. That was with Seattle, and he put up 30 home runs. So he's a home run threat.
That one travels 390 feet. Just his 19th at bat since the 1st of July. And his 4th home run. Callaspo's pop. Handled by Hamilton. 2 outs in the Angel eighth. Russell Branyan in his career has homered every 15.2 at bats. That is a 17th best home run ratio all time. And he's homered with 10 different teams. One shy of the all-time major league record held by Matt Stairs, who homered with 11 different teams. Now Eric Ibar. Oakland has finished off their demolition of Boston 15-5 at Fenway Park. Gonzalez over Wakefield, who again comes up short, looking for his 200th win. Tampa Bay 6-1 over Toronto. 12th win for Shields. Tommy Hunter, the winner in the Baltimore win over the Yankees, 12-5. Tommy now 3-2. Beating A.J. Burnett. Brilliant game in the National League. Thrown by the Mets' Chris Capuano, who 2 hits Atlanta. That's when that one's 6-0. Tim Hudson was going for his 14th win for the Braves in that one. Florida has beaten Philadelphia 6-5. As Roy Oswalt falls to 6-8. Broken bat. Juan Hopper. High throw. Tateyama retires Ibar. A 26 pitch, 4-run, 8th inning for Yoshi. And it's 11-5. 21 North Texas Honda dealer of the game is Honda Cars of McKinney, located on 75 in McKinney, or log on to HondaCarsOfMcKinney.com. Rich Thompson in the Ranger 8 to face Moreland, Cruz, and Murphy. And some big nights could get bigger. Moreland, 2 doubles, has scored twice, driven in a run. It'll be Cruz looking for his 5th hit, and Murphy for his 4th. Thompson worked the 7th, worked around a leadoff single by Elvis Andrews. Following Heron's 4 1/3. 7 runs, 11 hits, and Jerome Williams inning in 2/3, 4 runs on 6 hits. Strikes on Moreland on 3 pitches. And the second strikeout for Thompson. 11 runs on 18 hits for the Rangers. And 4 of them courtesy Nelson Cruz. With 6 runs batted in. One for Greens Hill here again, perhaps. Nelly's night began with a 2-run double in the 2nd to get the scoring underway. Leadoff homer in the 4th. Infield hit in the 5th ahead of the Murphy grand slam, and a 3-run home run in the 6th. First 3 of those hits off Heron. Williams was his victim on his 2nd home run. Lowe will be ready for the 9th. Cruz has never had a 5-hit game.
Another game where the late inning guys will get a night off. One more night where you can rest the important late inning arms.
Borges. And 2 outs in the 8th as Cruz is finally retired.
And that's not to suggest that the other guys aren't important out there. That's kind of a poor way of saying that. But the late inning guys that are generally used in the 7th, 8th, and 9th are Koji Wahara, Mike Adams, and then Felice. Those are usually the guys with a small lead and a save opportunity that Ron Washington would go to. And if you anticipate you're going to be in close games and you're going to be winning a lot of games in September, then keeping those 3 guys well rested is important. The other guy that it's important to get rest for is Darren Oliver, pitching into his 40s. You're one lefty out there, and Darren will get another day off. He'll be well rested. It's funny, the bullpen goes from days where you wonder where you're going to find someone to pitch to days where the manager's looking for ways to get everybody work. And Scott Feldman has had a couple of long relief opportunities within 3 days. Darrell Day pitched a couple of innings. And then you get a couple of good starting assignments, a couple of good long relief efforts by Scott Feldman, and all of a sudden your bullpen's right back where you want it to be as far as the rest goes. And the manager now is very confident that he can get through the game exactly how he wants to.
So Murphy hoping for his 4th hit. He has had a couple of 5-hit games in his career, including against the Angels last September 20th. Thompson strikes him out 2. 3 strikeouts in Thompson's 2 innings. And we head to the 9th, 11-5. Of the game, 6th inning. Bases loaded for David Murphy, who unloaded his 6th home run of the year. In the middle of his 3 hits, followed by a curtain call. Find a plan that's right for you. Call TXU Energy, the right things right now. So for the 9th inning, it is Mark Lowe. And Mark on for the 45th time this year. And he faces Hank Conger, who took over the catching duties in the 7th inning for Bobby Wilson. Conger, another part of the young core of this Angel team. The catcher of the future. They hope he will develop into that. He sends that one high. Cruz thought it was hit a lot deeper than it was. He headed back, stopped in his tracks, and Lowe needs only 2 pitches to get the first out. Tom, when the Rangers absolutely needed a good start from Derek Holland, boy, did he deliver.
Yeah, and the tone of the game is usually set by the starting pitcher. And after losing 3 straight, you've got your closest competitor coming in for a big 3-game series. You got one of your youngest starters on the mound. It's important for him to pitch well, and he did. He set the tone. Rangers had 3 runs thanks to Nelly Cruz through 4 innings. It's a close ball game, and Derek kept popping zeros up on the board until David Murphy came through with a grand slam, kind of broke the game open. But early in the game, when it was anybody's game, Derek was on top of his game, putting zeros up on the board and pitching his way to his 12th win.
Andrews into the hole in time to throw out Borges. And the Angels down to their last out.
You know, Borges is flying down the line. Fortunately, it was a hard hit ball. Got to Elvis quickly. And it's the kind of play where he can show off his arm. Has time to plant, put a little extra on it, and get Borges at first base. Even Borges couldn't beat that one out.
So, for Abreu, 38,256 on their feet. Holland 6 2/3 shutout ball until the single by Wilson which drove in Vernon Wells, the only run he allowed on 8 base hits. He struck out 6 and walked 2 in his 12th win of the year against 5 losses. Looking ahead to tomorrow, C.J. Wilson, 12 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings since the Angels scored 2 in the first, August 17th. C.J. in the month of August, 4 starts. He is 3-0 with an ERA of 1.37. The Angels try Irvin Santana for the first time in his career on only 3 days rest. And again, only a few hundred reserve tickets left for that second game of the series. 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest here at the ballpark tomorrow night.
Pretty good support for the last out in the 9th inning from the fans. They're all standing and chanting, "Let's go Rangers." Well, the fans know how important this game was.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Abreu. Angels have not lost since they last faced the Rangers, and tonight in their 4-game sweep in Anaheim. They will fall to 71-60, 3 back of the 75-58 Rangers. And Abreu delaying the result as he will get himself a 2-out double, his second hit of the night. So a veteran not giving away a single at bat. And that gets it to Howie Kendrick.
Abreu gets a pretty good pitch to hit, and he hits it pretty well too.
16 runs, 31 hits now, both teams combined. Howie Kendrick with one of those, a single his last time up, igniting their 4-run 8th inning off of Tateyama. Kendrick against Holland struck out twice and grounded into a double play.
Just to be cautious, Ron Washington has Felice lobbing in the bullpen. He's not on a mission to get loose as quickly as he can, but he's just lobbing out there just in case you see one of those strange 2-out rallies. Ron's not going to let this game get away from him.
Haven't seen Meffy up since Monday. Low after getting 2 quick outs and 3 pitches now. Wavering a little bit. This will be his 14th pitch. Three and 1 to Kendrick. Five more games between these two. 2 more here, and then they will wrap up the season with 3 at Angel Stadium, September 26th, 27th, and 28th. Well hit to center field. And out of here. A 2-run, 2-out, 9th inning home run. And Howie Kendrick homers for the 3rd time in his last 4 games. His career high 12th of the year.
Unfortunately, the Rangers had built up a pretty good cushion in this game. Not a save opportunity yet. But I think Ron Washington is telling Felice, go ahead and get loose quickly now. Fastball inside part of the plate. Nice swing by Kendrick. The Rangers are doing some damage late in the game, showing they're not going to go away quietly.
408 feet on the home run by Kendrick, and here's Trout. He singled and scored his first time up. It's a game of runs. Rangers scored the first 11. And the Angels have now strung together 7 straight in these last 3.
And the other thing that you can't say is the Rangers are lucky they had 11 runs, because if they didn't, the Angels would have gotten those 7 runs anyway. That's not true. Probably not true, because you wouldn't have seen the same pitchers in the game. You would have seen Lahara, you would have seen Adams, and you probably would have seen Felice.
Todd's been here before. Abreu is down to his last strike. Lowe's 20th pitch. That does it. Despite the late rallying by the Angels, Derek Holland, now 12-5, gets the win, and the Rangers get the win to increase their lead to 3 games with 2 left in this series against their American League West rivals. And overpowering nights by Nelson Cruz, 4 for 5, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. And by David Murphy, 3 for 5 with a grand slam and a curtain call. 6 Rangers had multi-hit games. Michael Young also had 3 hits. 4 Rangers scored multiple runs behind Derek Holland. And they won it by a final margin of 11-7. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21.